Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. In case you didn't already know, that's the new electric Jeep. But if you're an American and got a spare $40,000 to buy a new car and you wanted to buy a Jeep, and the idea you'll keep your fellow Americans employed, too darn bad, you'll have to think again because that's going to be made in Poland. Anyway, as you know, there's a discrepancy and demographic change in single people right across the United States, and it must be having some effect on the establishment and the United States government, as I came across this. It was written on the 4th of November 2022, and it's menswear style. Most men stay single, and here's why. Then it gives you just a brief introduction. It's no secret that most men stay single well into their 30s and beyond. That could be the MGTOW effect these days. The reason is why they don't address the MGTOW is, more importantly, what can be done about it. There are several reasons why so many men remain single for such a long time. Some are perfectly content being alone, that'd be me, while others haven't yet had the right opportunity to meet the right person. Well, with all the dating apps, that's a bit of a misdemeanor. Let's look at some of the most common reasons men stay single. Now it says some men, marriage is not in the cards, blah blah blah. Ordinary society rejects bachelorhood. Now this is the closest you'll get to the MGTOW word. Bachelorhood, they're usually guys who live on their own. But it is beginning to accept it. So does that mean that they're beginning to accept MGTOWs? Married men are pressured by their families to be responsible and not run around like they used to do when they were single. That could be Indians and people outside the Western world. Some men find this pressure too much and would remain single rather than marry. They enjoy the freedom being on their own and don't want to change that dramatic dynamic by getting married. And then this is where a lot of the MGTOWs come into. Failing relationships. For some men, their past relationships is why they are single. If they are in a toxic or unhappy relationship, they might be hesitant to enter into another one. And then it gives this bit, how you should improve yourself to get back onto the plantation. And then poor social skills. Many men struggle with social situations. They don't know how to approach or talk to women. I've never had any problem with that. I just can't be bothered to get into a relationship. This could be particularly challenging if they are shy or introverted. Some men lack the confidence to approach a woman. They may feel intimidated, blah, blah, blah. As a result, many remain single for years due to poor social skills. That's probably true. However, with the proper guidance and counseling, men can overcome these challenges and successfully find partners. Many resources available can help learn. Now, in other words, this is the thing the guy has to... This bit is how the guy has to man up, improve his skills, and get back on the plantation. And work-related demands. Many men are focused on their career and don't have time or energy to pursue a relationship. And then it goes on about it. It may be worth considering whether a relationship is really what you want out of life right now, or if there are other things you like to focus on. That could be indirect reference to MGTOW. Focus on yourself. It's essential to research the best ways to meet people, build your confidence, improve your social skills. And then this is another one. By doing so, you open yourself up to new opportunities and find the partner that's right for you. And then men struggling to find a partner. Some men have difficulty meeting potential partners. Well, that's where That's where the 80-20 rule comes in. Women are picky. They have a shopping list. If you don't meet their standards, then they reject you, hence the difficulty meeting. If they don't spend outside work or in social groups, many men feel they can't find a compatible partner, whether due to shyness, lack of confidence, or other factors. Unfortunately, there are many resources available to help men overcome this challenge. That's this bit. Dating apps and online dating sites. Well, we all know about Tinder. Women swiping left. She gives you about 1 second of consideration, then on to the next one. Now, this is all about helping guys, quote unquote, to get back onto the plantation into relationships. But women are also having a tough time these days, as I found this. This is Magnify Money, and this was written on July 26, 2021. Now, that could be in reply, this article in reply to this one, as this shows that women are having it rough in America. As you can see, there are more single women than single men in nearly all 100 of the largest American cities. Now, this is just the key findings. Most adults in the largest US cities are single, but women are more likely to fly solo. Just over 55% of people aged 20 years older are single in America. This jumps to 57.3% for women and falls to 53.7% for men, which is a 3.6 differential. That's not much, but when you consider the sheer numbers, there's an awful lot of single women in America who can't find a guy, i.e. where have all the good men gone? Shares of single women outsize shares of single men in all but 4 of the largest cities. Greensboro, NC, that could be North Carolina, has the widest gap between the rate of single women, 62.2%, and single men, 52.2%. It'd be interesting to see what sort of the level of guys in Greensboro are MGTOWs or attest to the MGTOW philosophy, as a 10% differential is an awful lot. And it says, on average, there is a 3.6 percentage point difference between the share of single men and women in America. Now, Midwestern and Southern cities are full of singles. 10 cities with the largest share of single adults over 1 falls between the Midwest or South. Detroit has the highest share, 75.6% of single residents 20 years and older, followed by Cleveland, 72.8%, and Baltimore, 71.3%. Then citizens are more likely to be married out west. 6 of the 10 cities with the smallest shares of single adults are California and Arizona, including Fremont, with the fewest single folks, 33.5%, and other 4 cities are in the south. Now, if you click on that, it just takes you to that. And then it shows you a map of America, and if you click a little over that, it highlights here in Boston, difference between single men and single women is 3.7%. And then you drop down to the list. If you're over in America, you can pick where you live, and it gives you the demographic difference between single adults, single guys, and single women, and the difference. And then, are there singles in your area? And once again, there's Detroit, the top of the list, and St. Louis, MO. That wouldn't be Montana, no, that's up in the north. You know the state where St. Louis is. And then Fremont, California, that's a 2.5% difference So there's more single women in Fremont than there is single guys. But then we go down to age demographics. 25.7% of people between the ages of 20 and 34 throughout America are married. Cities with younger populations are more likely to have higher shares of single folks. Understandable. The average age of the largest cities is 35.2, just outside this 20 to 34 range. Now, how many of those 35.2% of single people fall into this category? They've gone through a toxic divorce. The guy says, sod it, I'm not going through that again. I'd rather remain single. I've read there's a lot of comments on the YouTube video blogger site that's saying just that. And then it's just tips for remaining financially independent. And then we have the coronavirus pandemic, which might have delayed an uptick in weddings. The marriage rate pre-crisis had dropped to 6.1% per 1,000 people in 2019, down from 6.8 in 2009. Americans are also getting married later, as the average age for the first-time marriage is 30 for men and 28 for women. But these women want a guy in the top 10%. For women in 2020, up from 25.7 to 23.1 respectively in 1986. The 80s were a good year. But it all boils down to most men stay single, and here's why. And here's the result. There are more single women than single men in nearly all 100 of the largest cities in America. So is MGTOW having an effect on that? There's nothing that I could find that gives that direction to, but you just don't know until the authorities acknowledge that MGTOW is a dominant effect across the Western world, and especially in America and Canada, and what effect guys being single and not bothering to buy all the things which you need for a family home is going to affect the US economy. I might look around for something more on this, but for now I think we're on the 10-minute mark, probably beyond it now. So, you know the routine, people. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Completely up to you. I'll naturally put the links below, but until Monday, or I do another one maybe for Star Wars in the week, that's it. Bye-bye.